The glass door to conference room B flew open with such force that it rattled. Against the wall there stood Brenda Hutchinson, her perfectly coiffed blonde bob trembling with rage, her manicured finger already pointing accusingly at the mahogany table where I sat with 3 potential investors. "Excuse me," she shrieked in a voice that could strip paint, "but this furniture was not approved by the HOA Furniture Committee. And don't even get me started on those 3 cars in visitor parking without proper windshield decals." I set down my pen slowly, maintaining eye contact with my bewildered guests before turning to face her. "Brenda, I'm in the middle of a meeting. I don't care if you're meeting with the Pope himself," she spat back, clutching her clipboard like a weapon. "Rules are rules, and as HOA president of the Willowbrow Commercial Complex, one have the authority to actually." I interrupted, allowing myself a small smile. "As of 9 a.m. this morning, you don't have any authority here at all. You see, Brenda, I now own this entire complex." The color drained from her face so quickly I thought she might faint. Her clipboard clattered to the floor, papers scattering across the polished concrete. For the first time in the 6 months I'd known her, Brenda Hutchinson was speechless. "Let me back up and explain how we got here. My name is Marcus Chen, and I run a software development company called NextGen Solutions. 6 months ago, my team of 15 employees and I moved into Suite 201 Willowbrow Commercial Complex in suburban Phoenix. It seemed perfect. Modern facilities, good location, reasonable rent. What the leasing agent failed to mention was that the complex came with its own special brand of hell. An HOA run by Brenda Hutchinson. Brenda was a 50-something real estate agent who occupied Suite 105, though from the way she acted you'd think she owned the place. She'd been HOA president for 3 years, and in that time she transformed what should have been a simple property management arrangement into her personal kingdom. My first encounter with her came exactly 2 hours after we'd finished moving in. I was helping my team arrange desks when she marched in without knocking. "Are you the new tenant?" she demanded, not bothering with pleasantries. "Marcus Chen." I extended my hand, which she ignored. "Yes, we just that doormat is not regulation," she interrupted, pointing at our welcome mat. "HOA bylaws clearly state all doormats must be charcoal gray, no larger than 24 by 36. In our doormat was black with our company logo. It's practically the same color," I said, trying to be reasonable. "Practically is not acceptable," she snapped. "You have 24 hours to replace it or face a $50 fine." That was just the beginning. Over the next few weeks, Brenda found violations everywhere. The smell of coffee from our break room was creating an olfactory disturbance. Our ergonomic chairs were not in keeping with the complex's aesthetic standards. She even complained that the sound of move forward with purchasing the Willowbrow complex. What Brenda didn't know was that the property owner, an elderly investor named Harold Morrison, had been quietly shopping the complex around. He was tired of dealing with the management headaches, especially the constant complaints from and about the HOA. Had expressed interest months ago, but hadn't been ready to pull the trigger. Now I was. The next few weeks were a delicate dance. I had to keep Brenda from finding out about the purchase while navigating her increasingly unhinged behavior. She seemed to sense that something was changing, that her grip on power was somehow threatened, and doubled down on her harassment. She tried to ban my employees from using the main entrance, claiming they were disrupting the professional atmosphere. She filed a formal complaint about the font we used on our company nameplate. She even attempted to regulate our working hours, insisting that no one could be in the building before 8 a.m. or after 6 o'clock p.m. Meanwhile, I was finalizing the purchase. $32 million, a significant investment, but the complex was profitable and had excellent potential. More importantly, it would finally put an end to Brenda's reign of terror. The closing was scheduled for a Friday morning. The HOA board meeting was that same afternoon. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. I walked into the conference room where the HOA board met monthly. Brenda sat at the head of the table, surrounded by her hand-picked board members, all fellow business owners who'd learned it was easier to agree with her than fight her. Well, she said as I entered, "I'm glad you're here, Mr. Chen. I have quite a list of violations to discuss." She stood up, brandishing a stack of papers. "First, your employees have been parking in spaces not assigned to them. Second, a light from your Office has been visible after approved. Ours third. Actually, Brenda, I interrupted, pulling out a manila envelope. I have some paperwork of my own to share. I handed copies to each board member as of 9 o'clock. This morning I am the new owner of the Willowbrow Commercial Complex. As my first act as owner, I'm dissolving the commercial HOA effective immediately. The silence was deafening. Brenda's mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping. For one of the board members, Tom, from the accounting firm, started to chuckle. You can't do that, Brenda finally managed to sputter. Actually, I can, I replied calmly. The HOA exists at the discretion of the property owner. Page 93 of the bylaws you love so much. I've already filed the necessary paperwork with the state. This is illegal, she shrieked, her face turning an alarming shade of purple. I'll sue. All you'll do. Nothing, said Tom, still grinning. Thank God someone finally stood up to you. Brenda, do you have any idea how many tenants you've driven away? How much business we've all lost because of your power trips? The floodgates opened. Every board member began sharing their grievances. The dentist in Suite 3000 had lost patience because Brenda harassed them about parking. The marketing firm downstairs had employees quit rather than deal with her daily inspections. Even her fellow real estate agents in the building had stories of deals falling through because of her behavior. I demand respect, Brenda screamed, pounding her fist on the table. I've maintained order in this complex. You've been a tyrant, I said quietly, and it ends today. There will still be rules. Of course, reasonable ones focused on safety and mutual respect, but the days of $50 doormat fines and plant species lists are over. You can't do this to me, she said, her voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. I'll destroy you all. Make sure your business fails. You'll do none of that, interrupted Sandra from the law firm on the third floor. In fact, Brenda, I'd be very careful about making threats. I've been documenting your harassment for months. Several tenants have grounds for lawsuits against you personally for interference with business operations. The blood drained from Brenda's face again as the implications hit her. She looked around the room searching for an ally, but found only satisfied smiles and nodding heads. This isn't over, she hissed, grabbing her clipboard and storming toward the door. Actually, Brenda, one more thing, I called after her. Your lease is month to month, correct? You'll be receiving your 30-day notice to vacate on Monday. I think it's best for everyone if you find a new location for your business. She froze in the doorway, her back rigid. Without turning around, she said in a voice barely above a whisper, you'll regret this. Then she was gone, the door slamming behind her with enough force to crack the glass. The room erupted in applause. Tenants who'd suffered under Brenda's regime for years shook my hand and slapped my back. We spent the next hour discussing new policies, reasonable ones that would actually improve the complex rather than turn it into a police state. True to her word, Brenda tried to fight back. She filed complaints with the city, the state, even the Better Business Bureau, but each investigation found no wrongdoing on my part and often uncovered more evidence of her harassment. 3 tenants ended up filing civil suits against her for damages. Within 2 weeks, she'd vacated Suite 105, leaving behind only a few violation stickers and the lingering scent of her oppressive perfume. I spent the next month renovating her former office into something special. The day we unveiled the new tenant lounge, complete with comfortable seating, a coffee bar, and a game area, nearly every business in the complex showed up to celebrate. Where Brenda's office had once been a symbol of petty authoritarianism, we now had a space that brought people together. And yes, I did hang a sign above the door in elegant lettering. It read Willowbrow Tenant Lounge for tenants only, no Karens allowed. The first time I saw Tom from accounting reading it, he laughed so hard he nearly spilled his coffee. You know, she drove by yesterday, he told me, slowed down right in front of the building, probably hoping to see us all in chaos without her rules. And I asked, and she saw the sign? He grinned. I've never seen someone peel out of a parking lot so fast. In the end, Brenda's lawsuits cost her over $40,000 in legal fees. The tenants who sued her won judgments totaling another $60,000. Her real estate business, already struggling due to her reputation, folded within 6 months. The last I heard, she was working as an assistant property manager at a complex on the other side of town with no HOA powers whatsoever.